What do you do when your whole world is turned upside down? What do you do when the very thing you focused on for so long wasn't only the wrong thing, but took your eyes off the most important thing? If that's happened to you, and I just have a hunch that it has, then I'm right there with you. That's happened to me too. Hi, I'm Paul, by the way. It's nice to meet you. Though I didn't always go by the name Paul, I used to be called Saul. And at one time when I was still Saul, my whole entire world was turned upside down. The very thing I had focused on for so long, the very thing that I was so zealous for, the very thing that I had found most important, took me away from the most important thing. I still remember that day like it was yesterday. I had all the reason in the world to be confident in myself. You see, I was the best of the Jews, circumcised on the 8th day, an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. I was a Hebrew of Hebrews. Understanding the law, I was like a Pharisee. Righteousness under the law, I was blameless. But then this other group came up. There were these supposed Jews, along with some Gentiles, who were called the followers of the way. They were followers of this man named Jesus, this blasphemer who claimed to be the Son of God. He was put to death by all of us, but then some of his followers said he was alive. There was no way. And for them to put out this needless slander against the Most High God by connecting all of it to this Jesus, it was absurd, and it needed to be stopped. So, I persecuted them. I captured those followers of the way. I had them beaten. I had them thrown into prison. I was there and I gave full approval, absolutely full approval to the stoning of Stephen, to his death. And as he looked up at heaven and as he saw, as he claimed, the Son of Man descending from on high, I was there and I said, this man deserves to die. I hated Christians. I hated Jesus. And I could have never been more wrong. You see, I was going to Damascus one day, and all of a sudden this bright light shone all around me. And I couldn't see anything. All I could do was, in the midst of all of it, was I fell to the ground and I heard this voice coming out of heaven saying, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? I was so scared. I had no idea what was going on at the time, and so I just could look up at heaven and said, who are you, Lord? I am Jesus, the voice said, whom you are persecuting. But rise, go and enter the city, and you will be told what you are to do there. So that's what I did. After that blazing light and that voice vanished, I couldn't see a thing. So my men helped me. And they took me to Damascus, and they led me to that city, and there I was met by this follower of the way, this follower of Jesus named Ananias. And he came to me, and I received the Holy Spirit, and I was baptized And then I stayed with the disciples for a number of days. Soon enough, I was proclaiming the very thing that I had denied, that Jesus Christ lives, and he lives for me. How my worldview had changed so very quickly. Something tells me that your worldview has changed very quickly too. I've heard it said, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. He sure changed mine. From persecuting Jesus to proclaiming Jesus. From doubting Jesus to trusting in Jesus. And if your worldview has changed like mine, that's what you need too. When your world is turned upside down, and I don't care for what reason it is turned upside down, when you focused on the wrong things instead of the most important thing, you need Jesus. You don't need eloquent wisdom. You don't need cool philosophies. You need Jesus. You need him proclaimed to you, his death, his resurrection, his life that he gives you. And when you have that, forgiveness and life in his name, you can trust him to take care of the rest, even when your world has been turned upside down.